Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about season 5, episode 2, titled The Lost Weekend, air date October 17th, 2001, and the synopsis is
After arriving in Boston to visit, Dawson sees complications in his past relationship with Joey, who decides to drop out of Wilder's writing class. Meanwhile, Jack pushes Jen to talk to Charlie. Also, Doug pays Pacey a visit to visit the Boston docks and tells him about a job he can get for him at a restaurant.
Did you like how it starts?
Um,
Dawson and Joey
yeah, I figured
like
to
getting
pick up
in
there.
getting into a fight.
About her message.
I'm just so over Dawson and Joey. I can't. Like,
Yeah,
why do we have to make them a thing? They don't work. So
right.
this it's just like a useless episode for them.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, I was tired of it too.
I'm like, they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just try to rebuild their friendship.
Yeah.
And then I was just tired of Joey through the whole thing because she don't know what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was really irritating me.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the fact that she was like, because he was like, well, why did you leave the message and stuff? And she's like, because I was mad. And it's like that's high school crap that you're mad at.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are in college
Yeah.
and you knew he was going to California.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get like she shouldn't be mad. They're in
Right.
two different states and they knew this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I thought friends like from home only see each other when they go back home during the holidays.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed
Like,
to be.
yeah, because she said, well, I'm mad because you didn't come to see me. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, he's got his own life in California. Like, I don't understand this. She's so selfish. She wants him to take time off from school so that he can go visit her. That's not how it works. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Most college kids stay where they're at in college and then they go home and see their friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen where, oh, I'm going to take this weekend or this week and go visit my friend. Unless you literally have like final, like right before final. I don't know. But it's just like he's he's trying to adjust in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why she is trying to sabotage him.
Well, I think she was fine with it until Mr. Wilder brought up, like, what does she wanted the kiss to mean when she was writing her story.
I know, but when she was fighting with him at the very beginning, she was being so selfish. It
Mm-hmm.
was like all about her. And I'm like, have you decided to take a weekend to go visit Dawson in LA? No.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
can't just expect that he's going to just drop everything for you
Mm-hmm.
if you're not planning on doing the same.
Yeah.
But again, she's making it all about herself. And I'm like, you even told him, I'll see you at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's only October
Yeah.
and you're already planning on seeing each other. Like, I just didn't like the selfishness in her because, again, he is in college in a whole different state. He needs to focus on that and not on her.
Yeah.
But I
And
would,
she was,
and by the way, it's not just because it's Joey. I would have said that if he was with anyone.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and she just kept bringing up how they didn't resolve anything on their last day in Cape Side together, but it seemed like they did, and then she just said it wasn't all of a sudden.
Because that's all Joey does is just brush it off and
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I don't like you. And really, she does. Like, she was just irritating me, especially when like Dawson it was his last day and she's going to just now drop out of Wilder's class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think of Professor Wilder?
Um, well, I don't like how he pressures Joey so much because he gives her a hard time in this episode too about dropping out, and she should be free to drop out drop-in class that she wants, you know? She can always take it again the following year or whatever.
Yeah, but then he said bye, like as if
Hmm.
she's never going to take the class even next year, or the following year.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like he's too clingy, weird, like around her, like he's got some obsession over her.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's a teacher-student relationship.
Right. Yeah,
I
the way
feel
he looks
like
at her.
I feel like I feel like he's got this weird vibe around him that is like he wants something more than that relationship.
We already know that he doesn't have a good home life with his wife and his kid, he said in the first episode, bitching him out.
Right. So it's
So,
like, so yeah, I just feel like he's got some weird fantasy going on.
hmm
And it's just, it's creepy. But again, what is this show? Ever since the pilot.
yeah, and all the girls,
Yeah.
at the school love him, and Audrey said he's even gorgeous or whatever. So,
Yeah. And it's like, but all this show is,
inappropriate
yep.
relationships.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like, and here's another one. I
Hmm.
can't with this show.
Yeah.
Like, let's drop this. And again, every show does it. So why do you got to do it?
Hmm.
And
Yes,
plus,
and
I'm
then,
sorry, I
yeah,
don't even think the guy's cute.
right. Yeah, neither do I.
Like,
He looks like, what, to be early 30s, maybe?
probably.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. I'm like, no, no, no. And yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't like that he, you know, was giving her a hard time either. Like, just sign the goddamn paper
Yeah.
and let's move on. But again, we wasted a whole episode on this. It was stupid.
Yeah. And then Audrey walked in and she mentions the campus tours to Dawson because Joey's supposed to take him, but
Now,
she has to drop the class.
how is it she didn't hear them fight?
Oh yeah, when she walked in from the hallway. Yeah, they don't have a bathroom in there with them.
No, they did have a bathroom.
Oh, okay.
The bathroom is in their room.
Okay, that was like a communal bathroom.
I thought it would be too, but apparently not over there at their college.
Hmm.
Their college must be fancy.
Maybe, I mean, we didn't hear it either, but maybe she had a hair dryer on. I don't know.
Yeah, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, as I said, we didn't hear it. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's just weird
Or
that she came out and then was just like, oh, what's going on? And it's like,
hmm
you didn't hear any of that, really?
unless the door and walls are super thick, I guess, and like soundproof.
Must have been.
Hmm. But that was funny how Audrey tells Dawson she's a handful, that girl, isn't she? It's like,
Yes,
you have
she
no idea.
is. And then
Yeah.
he like puts his head down.
Hmm.
Okay. Jack and Jen.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh my God. I'm walking and all she's doing, who is she obsessing over?
Charlie.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I did think it was funny when he said that he kissed more boys than she did this past year, and she said,
Hmm.
I kissed one, and he looks at her and goes, straight guys.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. And then she said this is the saddest competition ever. That was
It
funny.
really is. It really is for Jen.
Hmm. Yeah, and then they only spy Charlie at the radio station when Jack was looking at the map
Okay, I have an issue with the scene.
because it shouldn't have been that easy to find him. Or
No, the fact that he's holding the sign and it
oh,
literally says get in here
oh
and
crap. Yeah.
and Jen and Jack
Hmm.
tilt their heads as if they can't read it upside down, and then Jen literally says I can't read it, it's upside down. I'm like, Jen, it's in big letters, get in here.
Hmm.
Siri, you're that stupid? How did you make it through high school if you can't read it upside down?
Yeah.
It wasn't little writing, he literally wrote it big letters. Like,
Hmm.
it was so stupid. I don't know why the writers, but I'd be afraid to put that out there because it just makes us Jack and Jen look stupid.
Well, I wonder if that was even on purpose or if that was like a blooper Chad did accidentally and they kept it in.
Well, but it just was stupid. You could read it. You didn't have to
Yeah, I know.
tilt your head, and you didn't have to
Hmm.
say, I can't read it. If you can't read it, then you should probably go back to school, like middle school.
Yeah, I took it as tilting their heads as like a instinct to just try to read it the right way without thinking about it.
But I could read it without tilting.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying from their standpoint.
But then why did Jen say I can't read it? It's upside down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, you can read it. Like, ugh.
Yeah, because it's not like his handwriting was bad or something.
No, it was perfectly clear, the
Mm-hmm.
words.
Yeah.
Don't, if you, that's, I mean, if you can't read it, you probably should go back to elementary because this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over the stupidity on this show.
Yeah.
And that's what that scene was to me. It was, but what was funny was before that when he pulls out the map and she's trying to stop him from, she goes, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to look like a freshman that doesn't know where they're going. I'm like, but you are a freshman who doesn't know where they're going.
Yeah, it's better than wasting time being lost.
Well, and all she's doing is looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she's looked in every what? Something for Charlie's like,
Yeah. And then that scene afterward with Joey and Wilder, when he did finally give her the signature, he said that a student dropping out of his class is like getting dumped by her first girlfriend each time.
yeah,
So
I didn't
I didn't like
understand
that
that.
line.
Me either. This is what I mean. He's got some fantasy with Joey, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't they have a nice professor teach that has impact instead of this one that
Mm-hmm.
is only interested in clearly something else?
Yeah.
Like, they should not be inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to teach you, and that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Audrey walks Dawson to the spot for the campus tour, and it turns out she's the tour guide.
It was just stupid too. Just
No,
be
that was
honest.
funny.
Just be honest saying you're the tour guy. Come on. Yeah, but I don't like Audrey, so
Well, that seemed in character for her to wait till the last second and then put the name tag on his chest.
oh, I'm surprised she knew it what his name was.
Oh yeah, because before she
Remember,
was saying
wasn't he
Dunstan.
Dunstan or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm really surprised she didn't put that would have been more funny if she would put that name.
Mm-hmm. And then Jen is in the radio, or on the radio with Charlie.
Yeah, and she turns it on. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know it was on. Like, what? That scene was kind of confusing because he's talking and
Mm-hmm.
then he goes, "It's on," and it's like, and she goes, "Yeah, no, I turned it on." So I'm confused. Like,
I think she meant the song that he was gonna play next. She already
oh,
started it for him.
oh, because I was really confused. I'm like, but you were just talking, so you knew it was
Mm-hmm.
on. I was just confused at that.
Yeah, because he was gonna introduce the next song, and Jen's like, "No, we're not gonna do that." And then he said something, and then she's like, "Well, I already turned it on." So, and then that was a little confusing to me there, but
Okay, but
yeah,
it was so when she was like, "Oh, why do people hate Mondays?" Are you serious? Are you living in some fantasy why people hate Mondays?
I don't.
Mondays,
Yeah.
because she was saying, "Oh, is it?" They were going back and forth about like, "Oh, is it like people have regrets over the weekend?" I'm like, let's call it
Mm-hmm.
what it is.
Yeah.
Mondays, people have to go to school and work.
Yeah.
Playtime is over, so that's why people hate Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Monday morning, it's always a struggle to get out of bed because you got the rest of the week to work and then you can play again.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with them. Even if you're in college, you get the weekend to play
Mhm.
and then you got to go to school.
Yeah.
That's why people hate Mondays. Why couldn't they just say that instead of talking about regrets and crap?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the truth.
Yeah. And
But it
then
was funny because he didn't know her last name.
right. Yeah. And then we just know that this radio station is either for like the college campus or like Boston in general. But either way, I didn't like how Jen because Carly was like, I didn't ask for your number because I saw, Jack there with you and assumed that he was your boyfriend. And Jen said that he's threatened by gay guys dressed in Eric, I can't say that name, the store. So it was live on the radio. So I didn't like how she just kind of said that out loud. Like she didn't ask Jack if that was okay or even think about it. She could have just said that Jack was her friend instead of outing
Oh,
him like
but,
that.
but he did call him good looking or handsome or something. And I was like, oh my God.
Right, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, Charlie just called Jack handsome or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah. And then we see Pacey with his new girlfriend Melanie, who is the niece
Oh,
of the
do you think
dean.
do you think Charlie really likes Jen?
kind of, but not really at the same time.
I was just too busy looking at Jan.
Mm,
It took me out of the scene.
eh, yeah,
It's like what it does when Pacey's on the screen. All I do is look at him.
yeah.
I forget what's happening.
Hmm. Yeah, so we see Pacey with his new girlfriend Melanie, the niece of the dean of Worthington, who I think borrowed Pacey his boat for a while because I don't think he sold it to him. Like till next summer, maybe. I don't know. But either way, I was surprised to see what's her name as Melanie.
Hmm. Cynthia's got to look it up.
I know it's Jennifer
Morrison.
Morrison. Yeah. Yeah, so Jennifer Morrison. Now this is the second person from Once Upon a Time that's been on this show. So I was surprised to see her. I was like, Emma Swan, what are you doing here? Because now we saw Pinocchio and now Emma herself, who is
Who
the
is Who is Pinocchio?
Billy again. Yeah. Who is Pinocchio on that one. And then Emma was Snow White and Prince Charming's daughter.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
That's funny.
Hmm. And he had a
Did you want
sad
to know a fun
storyline.
fact?
Hmm.
A fun fact is she directed him in Dr. Death.
Oh, wait, who? Josh?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she directs now. A little bit
By the
acting, but
way,
mostly directing,
I
yeah.
didn't, it was, yeah, I remember watching that Dr. Death and it came up as, director, and I went, hey, she was on like that one episode of Dawson's Creek as his
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. That's weird.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't like Josh playing bad guys. I just put that out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Doug visits Pacey after
Okay,
Melanie leaves.
I didn't know Doug leaves Cape Side.
Yeah, I know. I
That
was
was
like,
my thought. I'm like, Doug
yeah,
leave? Doug
yeah,
loves Cape Side.
yeah, I thought Pacey actually went there. So,
He ain't leaving the boat.
mm-hmm.
But I
And
was
then
just like, what the heck though? Doug in
mm-hmm.
Boston.
Yeah.
And he cares. Like he's so nosy in Pacey's love life.
Mm-hmm. And I was surprised he knew this guy that works at the restaurant in Boston.
I didn't know Doug knows people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like he really hangs out with people. So,
Yeah.
it's not like in Cape Side it was like, oh, this is Doug's high school friend. This is Doug's whatever. Like they never
Mm-hmm.
brought anyone from Doug's life,
Yeah.
which was weird.
Yeah, no friends or nothing.
Because I feel like Pacey would have had a run-in with somebody
Yeah.
that he would have known.
Yeah, so he tells him about the job for the restaurant and
Yeah,
pushes
and
him to
Pacey was
go.
like, I'm not working at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, but
'Cause-
you are.
Yeah, because now that he's worked on a fancy yacht, he sees restaurant work as like something that's beneath him now. That's at the
Yeah, well,
bottom of the barrel.
what I thought was funny was when they were talking, wasn't about Melanie's name and it was three different names.
Hmm.
And Pacey says, how come, what is it, rich people or something
Yeah.
have three different names? And
Hmm.
then Doug's answer was, the more people you're named after, the more wills you can appear in. I was like, what? I have
Yeah, it was funny.
never heard that. Have you?
No,
This is
no.
the first time I've ever heard.
Hmm.
I'm like, the
Because
more wills you're
yeah,
gonna appear in? What?
yeah, because we have three names and that's not going to apply to us. So
You have three names.
yeah, I have a middle name.
Yeah, but you don't use your middle name like out there. You don't tell people I'm blah blah blah. Like you don't say that.
Yeah, I do
You
go by
use
it.
you use your first and last name.
Yeah. Well,
But
sometimes I go by my full name.
but it was funny though. I was like, this made no sense.
Hmm.
And again, just because you have three names doesn't mean you're named after everybody.
Yeah.
It could just be they liked two names or something, and that's what they made. Like it was just weird. I was like, all right, dog. Let's not believe you.
Hmm. And then for a quick moment, we see Joey find the line to drop out of class, and it's like a mile long.
You mean it was all the way outside, wrapped around each stairway,
Mm-hmm.
and then into the office. I don't
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, like I said, a mile long.
I think it's
I hope.
more than a mile. It's like wrapped on the stairways and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And then it was still outside.
Yeah.
Then it was like a mile long outside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone in college is dropping out of the class.
Yeah. So, I just hope it's not like that today. I hope it's a lot faster at least, or they can do it probably on the computer now.
Email or
So,
something, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, what? Oh, well, what I thought was confusing because there was that many people.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought it was kind of odd and not realistic because she told Wilder, I was standing in line all morning and all in part of the afternoon. And I'm like, with that long line, I feel like you'd be standing there all day.
Yeah.
Like
Me
they
too.
probably would not have gotten to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
too big of a line for you to just get right up there.
Mm-hmm.
I just that made no sense to me. And then the fact that he's still there at work,
Yeah.
like I'm sure he goes home at
Mm-hmm.
some point. Like I just that didn't really seem realistic to me that
Mm-hmm.
he said that. Because then she had time to confront him and then she had time to sit there
Yeah.
and do the assignment and then talk to him. This was all in one day.
Yeah. Unless she started at the line like at 6 o'clock in the morning or
But
something,
she
but
didn't. The line may have started at 6 a.m., but she
mm-hmm.
didn't get there at 6 a.m.
Right. Yeah.
Remember, she had time to fight with Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time she got to the line, it was already outside.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably got there at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. She wasn't standing there since the morning because everyone else was standing there since the
Right.
a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Not you, Joey, but again, here we go with the writers,
Yeah.
not making it realistic.
Yeah. And then during the tour, Audrey is worried about Dawson because he's actually in Boston, wanting to visit his friends and not back in LA, living the dream he always wanted.
Well, it threw me off because he said he liked LA.
Yeah, I think he just said that so we wouldn't have to go into detail about it.
Well, we find out Audrey's from LA.
Yeah, that was kind of new. Yeah.
And
I
then
feel
she
like
was
that should
like,
have been in the first scene with Dawson.
or yeah, or with Joey, like, I know you're
Mm-hmm.
used to your small town, but like, I'm from a big city. Like, I don't know, like, because they
Mm-hmm.
are. One's a
Yeah.
small town and one's a big city. They're two different things. But yeah, I know. I thought that would have been a bonding thing for Audrey and Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking about it now that the weekend is over.
Right.
I know that should have been like the first thing of like Dawson's from L or Dawson's in LA, and it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
she's fine. And then it'd been like, oh, cool, and then they could have talked. But no, they're talking now. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on that. That's again bad, bad, bad.
And then we go to the restaurant where the cook apparently is making a new rabbit dish, which I did not find pleasing.
Well, the Pacey said he eats anything.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, I get that,
Ew.
but I still want to eat that.
That's my thing. I don't care if it's free. I'm not eating
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I'm picky. I am not going to eat a certain food, and that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like seafood?
Well, I've never really had it besides for tuna, so I can't really say
Ugh. Okay. Do you like the smell of it?
no.
I know, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. And just like most of the time, like they still have eyes and
Would
the
you say
legs and
that?
everything, and like
Still
just
have eyes.
clams just seem gross. So
And they're slippery and
yeah, and just like even shrimp doesn't seem bad, but the fact that you have to like take off the tail, it just taking apart a body like that just does not seem to sit well with me. So
then you get the beady eyes.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh, it's just nasty. And like the smell of it makes me gag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like seafood.
Yeah. So the cook Danny wants Pacey to be the dishwasher.
Oh, that's how I feel though about like lobster. They bring it to you and you can still see it's the
Oh.
lobster,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like it's the body.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's disgusting because they were just like when you go to Red Lobster and you see
Mm-hmm.
the lobster alive and you're
In the
like,
tank, yeah.
yeah, and you're like, he's so cute, but he's also gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, You know what he looks like swimming around. I'm not gonna go and eat him.
Yeah. They say they can't feel pain, but I don't know.
How'd they kill him?
Well, they like boil them or they just cut them.
While they're
So,
alive?
yeah, like kind of stab them in the head
What?
to begin with.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait. How
I
do you
saw a
know
vi
this? Like, I want to know.
I,
How do
s-
you know this?
I saw a video on TikTok of this girl being nervous about learning how to cook them, and she like herself was trying not to cry, and the chef was just doing it so easily. So, and she was like nervous, shaking. And I just saw the comments about it.
You didn't actually watch it though?
No, I did. And it was hard not to because I cooked it so fast, like 5 seconds. It was already done and ready to go in the pot. So
Do you really think that's how it goes?
in some places, I guess.
I want to know how Red Lobster does it.
Well, if you know anybody, maybe they would know who's worked there,
I don't know anybody that's worked there.
or maybe even a waiter if they know.
I don't know anyone that's worked there.
I mean, if you just go there and ask your waiter, maybe they will know.
I don't want it, but I feel like, I don't know, would they tell us the right answer?
Probably not.
No, because then they're trying to sell you the lobster. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to
Yeah.
be like, especially if their manager overhears, they're going to be like, what did you tell that customer?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you'd have to find somebody that you know that has worked there. Otherwise, they're not going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pacey is talking to the chef. I
Mm-hmm.
mean the cook.
Yeah.
Sorry. The guy wants to be called cook.
Mm-hmm. Danny.
Mm. Which is weird because don't they like to be called chef?
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around, but not for him apparently.
I know. I was like, isn't it more respectful to say chef?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like every time you say, oh, the cook, they go chef.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was odd. I'm like, so this guy, I don't know if he's really legit because he doesn't want to be called chef.
Mm-hmm.
But I,
Yeah.
I did think it was funny though, and Pacey was when he was like, oh, to Pacey, he was like, oh, you're the new dishwasher. And Pacey's like, I'm not the new dishwasher. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, that's right. You're too good.
Yeah.
But yet he's never cooked before.
Right.
But yeah, let's just throw him in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
especially at that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You expect to just cook?
I know.
I mean, do you even know what any of that is
Mm-hmm.
and how to make it?
Yeah. So they just agree that they don't need each other and both leaves. And then we go
Um,
back to Charlie's dorm
well,
with Jen.
no, it was funny though, because that Danny guy, the cook, he brought up Popeye. He's like,
Oh
whatever
yeah.
Pop. He goes, whatever Popeye, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Popeye? Where'd this come
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
Yeah, that threw me off. I was like, what?
And just because Pacey was sailing, so and Popeye is a sailor. Yeah, so Charlie wants to show Jen his music collection of albums, and he wants to specifically show her the original version of "I Will Always Love You" by Dolly Parton.
Okay.
And then Jen's trying to tell Charlie things about her, like how she lives with her
Well,
grandmother.
first of all, we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like that they said that, or that they made him say that Whitney Houston's was the bad version because Whitney Houston's version is amazing.
Yeah, I think he just
Like,
meant because no one knows that that's not the original.
well, it doesn't matter. Like, to say that her version isn't good, I was thrown off by that. I was like, what? Like,
I took,
everyone loves Whitney Houston's version.
yeah, I just took it
Like
as
her,
he,
yeah, but her voice fits that song.
hmm yeah, which is why I took off. But I just took it that he didn't think it was as good as Dolly's original, is what I saw.
Yeah, but they're both great. So I don't,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I've heard both versions. So I
Hmm.
didn't like them.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jen's trying to get to know him
Okay.
and
But then she brings up country music. And I was like, Jen, now I have a problem with you. I was like, what is wrong with country music? I have a beef now with Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the writers are just making me have beef with everyone on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously. No, but Cynthia, what is wrong with country music?
Um, I don't know. I don't really listen to it, so
Well, I didn't like the comment. It's like as if Jen has a problem with it.
hmm yeah.
Then
And
I was
then
just done. Then I was just done with Jen.
hmm, yeah. So Jen just wants to get to know him, but he just wants to make out with her.
Yeah, and then they do.
Mm-hmm. And then Dawson calls Joey while she's in the dropout line, and then they just meet up with her. And then instantly you could see how Joey was jealous that Dawson was with Audrey the whole time, the whole day on the tour.
Well, she never actually said what she wanted out of Dawson, so
Right.
so that again, that's what bugged me was like that's why she's irritating me because just say it, you want Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be honest. You're a grown adult at this point. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of this back and forth with her.
I just thought it was funny that even Joey didn't know that Audrey was a tour guide.
Um, well, she's probably not. I feel like she just made it up.
Even had the name
Um,
tags.
yeah, I'm sure she stole them. Um, well, what I thought was funny from Joey was she said she flirts with anyone, animal, vegetable, mineral. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah, and Dawson doesn't care because he thinks she's fun.
Yeah, the opposite of Joey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See,
because Joey's.
the problem is Dawson and Joey are the exact same. So Dawson needs somebody fun
Mm-hmm.
because he's very boring.
Yeah, because you could tell Joey was jealous too when she told Dawson that he should go hang out with Jen and Jack at Graham's.
Yeah, but I didn't like Audrey. She gets in the line because Joey made her. And then like she side-eyed that guy in front of her. And
Oh, I didn't. Yes.
I was just like, oh, is he too good for is he like I just didn't like it. Like, he's an extra. And I'm just like, I was very offended by it just was weird. I didn't like it. I was like, why is she side-eyeing that guy?
Well, was he looking at her?
Well, he did because she may have bumped into him or something, but it was just weird because I was like, why is she giving the guy a side eye?
Maybe just to make sure he doesn't like try to hit on her or something.
Audrey loves when people hit on her.
I think she can be picky sometimes.
Doesn't seem like it.
And then, yeah, Dawson asks Joey if she's ready to go. That they're separate ways from each other, and she doesn't answer and just gets back in line. So she still can't
That's
just
what
be
I'm
honest
saying.
about her
You can tell
feelings.
she's jealous. Just say
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. And then when Audrey leads Dawson away from the line, you can see Joey having like a look sad on her face, sad look on her face.
Didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad or anything because you know what? You've had plenty of time to say if you want him or not.
Mm-hmm.
And he's clearly asking you, and you still are hiding it. So this is just pointless to me, this whole episode.
Yeah.
At least with these two. I mean, not with everybody, but just with these two. I was over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when Joey finally gets to the office to drop out of the class, she finds out that Wilder left off the ER off his name, so he misspelled it as somebody
Okay,
else.
I have a bone to pick with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've been in line.
Oh, she didn't check it. Yeah.
You're bored in line for
Mm-hmm.
hours. You mean to
Yeah.
tell me that you did not look down at any
Mm-hmm.
point and noticed that it wasn't his name?
Right. Yeah, I
Come
didn't think of
on
that.
now. Every that especially Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could see like Pacey not realizing it or anything, but really, because he doesn't
Yeah.
care. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she would care because think about it. She's not in line talking to people, which everyone probably is. So it's not like she's busy talking. So I feel like
Yeah.
she would be like looking at it, making sure it's all right because she was the salutatorian. Like I don't buy that Joey would not look at the piece of paper before she gets up there
Right.
at any given time. That is
Mm-hmm.
that is bad again with the writing. I can't. It's not realistic that she would not look down and notice.
Yeah. And it just made me mad that he did that on purpose so she couldn't drop out of his class.
Well, I didn't buy it because she should have looked at the piece of paper.
And then Pacey and Melanie are at a dinner date at the restaurant.
I was gonna say, isn't it at the restaurant that
Yeah.
he's supposedly gonna work at?
I
Okay,
didn't really think about that, but yeah,
okay.
probably.
But then she says, I'm getting the check.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that set him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, she said, I'm paying the check. And he said, why? And she said, because you don't have a job. Ooh, wrong thing to say. And
Mm-hmm.
then she goes on and talks about slacker boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, another thing you don't say.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell she was joking, but it was still hurting Pacey's
Yeah,
feelings.
but you could tell by his face it wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
And think
Yeah, she.
about it. Like, no man wants to be downgraded like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
There was no uplifting.
Yeah. And then
I'm
I
going to
felt like,
be honest. I wouldn't like it if someone said it to me and I wasn't working. Do you know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you think I'm a low life? Like, that's where your mind goes.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want someone to pay for you.
Yeah. And she kept,
So I got that. I felt that when he was feeling it, I was feeling it too, because I was like, that's not something you say,
mm-hmm.
especially if you're dating the person
Yeah.
and they're capable of more. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you truly feel that way, then okay. But to just say that to them, like,
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest, Joey, Andy, they never would have said that to him.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't think this one cares about his feelings
mm-hmm.
the way that the
Yeah.
other two did.
Right. So it just seemed like she was gloating when she said that she was the one that had the credit card and the allowance and a trust fund.
Well, that was the thing because he said, "Well, you don't have a job either," and she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I have, I have a credit card," and it's like, yeah, like your daddy's money.
Right.
It's not your money.
Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, Jen wakes up in Charlie's bed.
Okay, but see, I'm still on the Pacey and whatever her name is. Um, I would see now. I would have felt better if she actually had a job. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
would have been more happy to like pay for my boyfriend. Like, I worked for this money
Mm-hmm.
instead of my daddy worked for this money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, then I could see why you would be happy and proud of yourself to pay for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your daddy's money.
Yeah.
So it's actually worse than you having a job and paying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, your daddy's buying your way. Now, why is he with the rich girl? Come on now.
Well, it's easy to see how they met, but I don't know. I can't really see what they would have in common besides for being on boats a lot, maybe.
And something else, something Charlie likes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Jen wakes up and she's panicking because she didn't realize she fell asleep and now it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and Grams is probably worried, sick, wondering where she is. Even though I think Graham knows that Jen's seen Charlie, but still, and even though she's an adult now, still worried that Jen didn't call or something. And then it's just funny
Yeah,
because Jen was like,
why
uh,
didn't Jen just call Grams and say, "Hey, I might not come home tonight"?
I guess, I don't think Jen has a cell phone as far as we know. So maybe she didn't want to find a payphone and maybe she just want to get back home. I just thought it was funny how just couldn't find her shoe. And then she asks Charlie if she can borrow his shoes. And then she stumbles because apparently she's still really clumsy in this show. But then, he stops her and says, like, don't pretend this, didn't happen because there's something between us. And it seemed like he cared, but at the same time, it just seems like he cares 1 minute and then doesn't care the next and just wants to have sex with her. So I don't
Well,
know.
yeah. And then he said, then he was like, oh, about like trying to stop her from leaving because he was like, oh, I don't want to do this next week with someone else that I don't even like. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that he would just move on easily without her.
But then, of course, it keeps her staying. And I'm like, oh,
Mm, yeah. And then Joey goes back to Wilder's class to confront him about the dropout sheet and his signature. Yeah, and he just said that he finds her promising and not wanting to let that potential go to waste. And Joey talks about Dawson. Well, she didn't say Dawson, but she said the boy wanting a future with her when she doesn't. And Wilder wants her to write, all it down in a story. Then he'll consider letting her drop out of the class or let her go chase Dawson at least. So then she sits down and starts writing while he's so happy with himself.
I didn't care for it.
Oh,
I didn't like Joey in it and I didn't like him in it. So I didn't
mm.
care for it.
And then Audrey brings Dawson to the top of one of the buildings on campus and asks
Yeah.
him if,
And then she said, yeah, you want to make out? Oh,
hmm
God. And see, it's all Audrey wants is to make out.
yeah, but then she says she won't because Joey's her friend or going to be. And then
Yeah,
Audrey's,
and that she'd kill her.
yeah, and then Audrey loves the place there in Boston compared to LA. And Dawson says that he lost his job in LA. So Audrey says that's one less thing tying him to LA. And Dawson just looks at the view. I think that's what got him starting to really think about staying in Boston because he
Was
he still
what?
has school. Hmm?
Was what? That he lost
Was
his job?
Yeah, and Audrey pointed out that that's one less thing tied to, him tying him to LA.
Yeah, well, he needs to go get another one.
Yeah, I know.
What's he gonna do? Just live off Graham's couch?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. He's not really thinking that one through. He's not even
No,
thinking about school either.
he's not thinking about himself. This is what's making me mad.
Hmm. And then Joey finishes her paper while Jerk, looks at it and she explains that
Yeah,
she's,
she gives her an A minus.
yeah,
Though I do agree with what he said.
about,
Like, this is the only thing I agreed with was he said basically you're dropping the class because you got a C.
hmm
Because he said, would you have dropped this if you didn't? She said, probably
yeah.
not. And it's like, exactly. So the only reason why Joey's dropping it is because, oh, I got a C. Work harder and get the A.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's overwhelming, so it's just easier to drop the class so you're doing the least best and
I know
you focus on other ones.
Joey's good at dropping things that scare her.
Hmm.
Like when the wall got destroyed, Dawson said it. She was,
Hmm.
a part of her was happy that she didn't have to show the world
Yeah.
what she could do.
Hmm.
So that's kind of Joey's motto, I mean.
Yeah, and then she also did explain that she's scared of failing because of everyone who made sacrifices to get her there. So I can understand that.
Yeah, but dropping it isn't going to do anything. Don't you still need it like the next year or something?
Yeah, but at least by then she'll have her footing and she can focus on, time management and the classes will be
Yeah,
different
well, by then
anyhow.
he'll remember to even put more pressure on her.
Yeah, maybe. And then he does eventually give her his signature, but then she throws it away, so she's staying in the class
That was
after
my
all.
thing, was this was pointless. She throws it
Yeah.
away anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, but I was like, really after all that? Like, and just the waiting alone would have still made me drop it. So just to not have to deal with him anymore. And then Danny and Pacey talk about food, and Danny
Oh,
tells
you
Pacey he met
mean
Doug.
you mean when uh, Danny said um that chefs don't serve to little people?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this Danny guy.
Mm-hmm. Like, is this restaurant like a 5-star restaurant or what?
Looks
Because
like it. It's too
yeah.
fancy.
Mm-hmm.
It's too fancy for any of them. They don't have that kind of money.
Yeah. And then we learned that Danny met Doug because Danny's wife's family's from Cape Side, and Doug, went over because apparently Danny was making a ruckus while he was drunk one time, and that's how they met and somehow became somewhat friends enough for him to let Pacey have a job there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they really friends?
Yeah. And then Pacey says if he knows how to cook every type of fish, he can handle anything in his kitchen. And I
Oh,
don't know
well,
about that though.
well, no. What I thought was funny was when Pacey told him, I can't believe someone would marry you.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're saying that to your new boss.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. How much would that get you? It would
Probably
get
not
you
far.
back out the door.
Yeah.
Like if somebody said that to you, you'd be like, bye. Remember when you said you didn't need the job? And there's the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Danny gives him the job anyways, but Pacey only went back just because he doesn't want to, have Melanie pay for his food anymore. So he was kind of desperate at that point. Yeah, so then Pacey walks out to see this waitress smoking. It took the longest time for me to catch her name because I swear they never said it once for the longest time. Yeah, but she was smoking and, Pacey
What's her
says he's
name?
not into that. Um, Karen?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because she said, um, she brought up like the type of girls he likes, and he said the ones that, first of all, the ones that don't smoke.
yeah.
He said because it's bad for you,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was like, oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
um,
offended her. And then
uh,
he was talking about how a month ago he was on a yacht and now he's stuck working here. And she says it doesn't matter where you are, it matters who you're with. So just randomly gives him a deep quote there and gives him her cigarettes so she can stop smoking. And also to rethink his shirt.
you know, one thing I have an issue is the show and the clothes. Remember?
Well, I didn't really see anything wrong with the shirt. It was just like a plain blue shirt, wasn't it?
Okay, this was my thing. Was what's wrong with Pacey's shirt?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I literally wrote that down. I was like, which? Because now I didn't like the girl because I was like, what is wrong with this shirt? Like,
Like, did she mean for
finally they put
working
him in.
there or
What?
maybe she meant for like working there, but I still don't see what was wrong with it.
Well, that's what you would wear to a job interview.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I didn't understand that because like he looked good in the shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
I thought it brought out his face and his eyes and everything, because that's what I look at.
Hmm.
On him.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the hell is wrong with Pacey's shirt? I was so confused at that. I'm like, he looks good.
Hmm.
Think about it. How many times do I hate his outfits? And
Two
this was the
times at
first
least.
this is the first time. One of the first times I liked what he was wearing.
Hmm.
So I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think maybe because she was trying to say it's fancy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because remember, his rich girlfriend bought him the shirt.
Hmm.
So
Oh, okay, that's what that
I think
was.
that may have been a callback now that I'm thinking.
Hmm.
But I still liked it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I still liked it.
Hmm.
Oh, and can I say something about hair?
Yeah.
I am so glad Dawson's hair is normal.
No, I didn't even like
For
think
the
about it.
first 4 years, I hated his hair.
Hmm.
But now I'm liking the Dawson hairdo. What? It looks normal.
Yeah, I know. Well, I wasn't really looking at his hair, but yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, now he's looking better.
Hmm.
I mean, not to where I'm crushing on him, but he's looking better. Okay, he's looking like I can actually stand him.
Hmm.
He's
And
not
then,
he's not looking like a something or another. I didn't
yeah.
like his hair. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but now I'm not liking Jack's hair.
Oh, yeah.
Too long in the back.
I don't really look at their hair.
I mean,
And
Pacey's
then,
tan is looking good. Jack's tan is looking good, except for his hair.
hmm and then Joey finds Audrey, who tells her that Dawson left uh Boston and how he was an idiot to waste his time on her when there's plenty of other girls at USC who will be dying to go out with him. And what? She was just playing around, but
Hey, this Audrey, she bothers me. This is why. Okay. She knows that he's at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And the airport waits for no one. So the
Yeah.
fact that she is literally wasting Joey's time, wasting like 10 minutes, going in a big circle, only to
Mm-hmm.
at the end say he's at the airport.
Yeah.
You should have said that at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You wasted like 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
talking in a circle.
Yeah. So I
Like,
thought he
it
already did
bothered
leave at that
me.
point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it bothered me. Like, if you're my friend or whatever, tell me at the very beginning where he's at.
Yeah.
Don't tell me 10 minutes later. It bothered me. I'm like, what kind of friend are you? You think this is a game?
Mm-hmm.
It just bothered me.
Yeah. But she somehow does catch up to him before he leaves. And, Dawson tells Joey how nice it must be to have breakfast every week at Graham's, like having a family. So you can tell that Dawson's missing having, a found family where he is. He hasn't, but you feel like, besides for the guard, I feel like he hasn't really made any friends in LA,
Well,
you know?
that's because it's Dawson.
Yeah, I just feel like he hasn't really been there long enough or tried.
Yeah, he's only been there a couple months. I mean, and he doesn't, I don't think he goes anywhere.
Well, what hasn't he already been there since like June because he took that summer program?
I don't tell you
So
much
I,
on the show. I know. I
so I,
feel like he would meet somebody in at
mm-hmm,
UCLA. Isn't that where he
yeah,
is?
yeah,
I feel like, yeah, in his film class, I feel like there's someone that he could bond with, like a Nikki,
yeah,
someone that's all into film.
mm-hmm,
Because remember, he met Nikki that one weekend, literally like the first day. I
yep,
feel like he would have met someone. But okay, what I thought was funny was when she said, "Don't you know me?" to him, and he goes, "As long as I live, I will never understand you."
right,
Okay, this is really, really bad for the writing because for the first 4 years, all we've heard about is how much he understands her.
yeah,
And here it is. He doesn't understand her.
mm-hmm,
So basically, everything that we've heard for 4 years is a lie.
right.
Is that what you mean to tell me?
I guess that's what they did. Yeah,
Because why would you write that?
I know.
He should know her. That's what they've always claimed.
Mm-hmm,
And also I have another bone to pick.
yeah,
Uh, when the lady said, "Oh, are you coming on the plane?" The plane waits for no one. They don't care
yeah,
if you're going on the plane. They shut the door.
right. Yeah, I know that was unrealistic too.
So the fact that they were literally going to wait for him, no,
Mm-hmm,
you're
yeah,
not a celebrity. They don't care about you.
mm-hmm.
And also this was definitely before 9/11.
When no, no, this aired in October.
Yeah, but it was filmed before
Oh,
9/11
right, right. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, so it's early in the year.
because what is the difference
Um,
between post 9/11 and
well, the security, but because there was no security, so he could just walk in through the gate.
Mhm.
I don't fly, but I'm guessing that's what the initial door is when you go to the plane.
So the difference is you can't do what Joey did and walk right up there. You
Oh, yeah,
can't
yeah.
go past security. If
Okay, yeah.
you're dropping somebody off, you
Mm-hmm.
say goodbye at security.
Yeah,
You can't get through security without a ticket.
yeah.
So Joey just being able to go right up there to the gate, that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely that doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the era. Um, but yeah, I'm actually surprised that they aired that, given it was
Mm-hmm.
only 1 month away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there'd be some, I don't know, like, I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like it's in an airport.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could have re-filmed
Maybe
that.
show them like outside of the
Yeah,
airport.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something, but not right there at the gate.
Yeah. And
Because
then
again, at that point, it definitely wasn't realistic.
right. And then Dawson says that he was having a fantastic weekend and just questioning if he should even go back to LA. And then he heard her message, even though that was the last day he was there anyhow.
I
And
don't, and they're still bringing up the message. Ugh.
yeah, and
Because they've got
Joey's
nothing, they had nothing solved.
yeah, And Joey said that at the end of the day that she just wanted Dawson to be waiting for her in her room, like she doesn't want him to go. And Dawson says that he was there all weekend and now they're just talking about this, which he has a point.
Yeah, he
And she
said
was,
we're finally talking about something important. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. At the last
mhm,
minute.
yeah. And maybe this is how they're supposed to end, that maybe any attraction towards each other is just the fear of moving on,
I
growing
did
up.
think that
And
was funny.
yeah, and he
And
knows that
it's true.
yeah.
They always go back to each other for fear, I feel like.
Hmm.
Think about the times that they go back. It's only
Hmm.
because they're fearful of what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Remember, that's why they kissed at the very end of season 4 was because, oh, we're worried about college now.
Hmm. Yeah. So he says if he doesn't leave now, he'll never find out. And that,
Do you know what I was saying?
huh?
I was like, no, go to LA and
Hmm.
get away from Joey.
Hmm. He's like asking, like, do you want us to become strangers and, or what? And she says no. And then that just makes him drop his bag and they sit back down and talk.
Did she
Well,
really say no, though?
yeah,
Mm.
I put that. Yeah, she says no. Yeah. So
I
the
feel like
plane
she
takes
didn't. I
off.
feel like Joey just didn't give an answer.
Yeah. And so he's just staying in Boston now, I guess. Don't know what he's
Doing
going
what
to
though?
do.
Like this
Yeah.
that's my problem. Like
Hmm.
Dawson, you don't belong in Boston.
Yeah. Unless he wants to
Um,
like do something for community theater, but that's not really much where he wants to go. So,
nope. Um, so yeah, that's the episode.
hmm
Did you like the episode?
everything that wasn't about Joey and Dawson, yeah.
Then what's your high and low?
Um, the low was finally seeing Dawson and Joey get somewhere, even though it wasn't the
The
right
last
move for,
second?
yeah, for Dawson to stay. And then the high was just, even though I feel like it's not gonna last very long, just seeing Jen happy about a new guy that she's seen. I guess it's probably not gonna last long, but because she was so broken up over Henry and mad that he just kind of dumped her like that, and not even toward her, it was through Jack. But yeah, so it's just something good for her right now. And what are yours?
Mm. My high?
Hmm.
Mm, do I have one? Uh, I've got nothing. I mean, Pacey and the chef going back, it was funny.
Hmm.
Well, he's Pacey's funny.
Yeah.
Um, the low was the rest of
Hmm.
it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah. And then Audrey, I mean,
And Jack was only in the one scene.
yeah, that's true. And then best and worst.
Well, rating. I
Oh
would
yeah.
rate this a 6. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I would say the same. And then best and
Um,
worst.
yeah, so what's your best or worst?
My best was Audrey just because she was, keeping Dawson entertained while Joey was taking the longest time to drop one class and wait until the very last minute to do so. I feel like that was bad on her part as well. And then
Yeah, don't they like keep it open for like a week or something?
I feel like it's a few
Everybody,
weeks.
everybody was dropping at the last minute.
Yeah, I feel like you might have a couple weeks at the most to drop out. So I feel like within that first week, you should even decide if you actually want to or not, because Joey was still kind of hesitating. And then the worst is Wilder, just because he
I
wasted
knew
Joey's
you were
time like
gonna
that.
say him. I knew it.
I mean, I feel like that's just bad for any professor to do. So
I knew you were gonna pick Wilder when I watched it.
yeah,
Hmm.
because that, like I said, that alone will just make me want to drop the class. I don't care how much of a good of a writer I am. I'm not gonna take his class. So
Especially when he said dropping it the first time was like being dumped.
yeah. What are yours?
Well, the worst was Miss Josephine Potter.
Hmm.
She bugged me.
Yeah, with her attitude.
Yeah. She won't just tell him how she feels.
Hmm.
I'm tired of this Dawson and Joey storyline.
Yeah.
And I mean it just doesn't work. And I'm tired of her moods. And again, like I don't like her and the professor. Like, it's just all weird. So I just didn't like it. So I didn't like her. That's why she's the worst, though. And uh and then the best, you're gonna be surprised.
Hmm.
Doug.
Oh, for getting Pacey the job or
Yeah.
the opportunity. Yeah.
Think about it. Doug didn't have to do that because Doug and
Mhm.
Pacey don't really have like that brother bond that
Yeah, and they don't
brothers
even live in,
have.
yeah, they don't even live near each other anymore.
Yeah, and how many times do they pick on each other? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
remember, Pacey's like the low life to Doug. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I thought that was nice of Doug to get Pacey a job.
Yeah, because who knows how long, Pacey would have just stayed at the yacht, not doing anything. So,
Right. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Doug for the win, because honestly, no one was really doing that much.
mm-hmm.
Like everybody else was just kind of on an even playing field.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pick anyone over someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, but the best one was Doug. That was nice of him.
Yeah.
So what's the next episode?
Episode 3, Cape Side Revisited. So it looks like somebody's going back to Cape Side.
Oh Lord. At least we'll get to see Cape Side, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.